Hi friends, this is your world channel. Enjoy watching. Antarctica is the mysterious continent of the planet. It is here where you can find a giant gap several kilometers in diameter, the world's deadliest place, unusual singing ice, even real monsters. It is definitely worth seeing. Being an ice continent, Antarctica boasts many gaps in the surface, but some of them surprise and amaze, especially so in 2014. In 2014, a mysterious sinkhole was discovered on the eastern Antarctic ice. It is 2 kilometers in diameter and up to 3 m deep. It is clearly visible against the background of the surrounding ranges because of its blue color. Initially, scientists believed that such a gap, which they have dubbed the most gigantic on the planet, was the result of a meteorite impact in 2004. But a new study has shown that the collapse is the result of erosion of the ice surface by the thermal wind that blows through the area. Antarctica at 35 kilometers per hour. These air currents and the effects of the sun's rays have raised the temperature of the ice, and that's caused it to thinner, and in some places it's collapsed. Scientists think that the rose's impact and the depth, it's not good news because there's another huge hole in Antarctica, a hole that was created in the coast of Antarctica in 1973. The mysterious hole remained open for 3 winters, then it largely disappeared beneath its frozen before reappearing in 2017 with even wider opening. The gap is unbelievably huge, is about 90,000 square kilometers. Given that the hole is expanding, it could lead to rising sea levels of the world's oceans, flooding, and a bunch of other consequences. Actually, not the ice of Antarctica is a very serious issue. A couple of years ago, scientists discovered in eastern Antarctica an ice tongue of about 1 meter, which turned out to be the hottest point in the region in that it's melting at an incredible rate of up to 19 meters a year. Scientists have shown that at the base of the glacier there are warm currents at the base of the glacier. To melt, the warm water moves down the underwater valley, then rises up to the base of the glacier, melting the ice. The ice then flows out from under the glacier and mixes with the meltwater. Again, the news is not good. The Antarctic ice sheet is the largest reservoir of fresh water on our planet. The melting of Antarctica's ice, the level of the world's oceans, according to scientists, predict that there is no single account, could lead to desalination of the Southern Ocean and a 60-meter rise in of the world's oceans. The consequences could be monstrous. While some scientists are dealing with glaciers, others are trying to find new creatures in Antarctica. For new creatures, and they're doing quite well, and they're doing pretty well. Scientists discovered that Antarctica was home to the Loch Ness Monster. It wasn't the legendary monster of the Scottish lake that resembled it. That's why they called it that. In fact, the remains were discovered back in 1989 on Seymour Island. However, due to weather conditions and other factors, scientists weren't able to make sense of the find. It wasn't until a few years ago that they came to the conclusion that the Antarctic Mesobolellos Mazova, longest plesiosaur of the late Cretaceous period in length, that it was 12 meters long and weighed about 15 tons. These numbers are important because, according to scientists, the Antarctic diamondback is the largest Antarctica's largest marine monster. For a long time, paleontologists didn't really knew for a long time if there was a moss of yarn, and in fact that's why the Antarctic Messie was a real breakthrough for researchers. By the way, what about the common Loch Ness Monster? Do you believe in its existence, or do you read that everything they say about it is a story? Share your thoughts in the comments and keep watching to see more unusual discoveries. So far, all of the Antarctic discoveries that I've told you about have been explained by scientists, but with this balloon there's a problem. A few years ago, 60 kilometers off the coast, a mysterious round object with a diameter about 37 meters in diameter. If you look closely at the images, one of the most interesting things about the object, the outer circle of the object stands out, and you get the impression that it's made of a solid material. Is also surprising the fact that the object is clearly drawn. It is difficult to understand in what environment the object is, either located in the middle of a lake or on a mountain. But what it is, scientists still can't exactly the nature of the find. According to they think it's a natural formation, but there are opponents to this theory, believe that the object has an artificial origin. as indicated by its elaborate clear shape. Who knows, maybe they're right, but what is this balloon and who created it? If you have any idea about it, how do you imagine the most dead place in the world? Maybe to you it's a lifeless desert or a dark spot on the deep in the ocean. Turns out to be the most deadest place in the world is not somewhere in the ocean, but in Antarctica, is a dry desert near a glacier. That's the conclusion scientists have come to. Researchers have recently been studying the soils of the dry desert and expected to see typical microorganisms that are used to live in a harsh environment, but they were astonished to find that in the dry desert, there were no organisms. Not even germs and bacteria were not found there. This is the first time that there's been found soils that they support no microbial life, and although there is a possibility that there is life in the dead zone, until that this place seems particularly mysteriously frightening and interesting. You know, Antarctica is full of ice, but did you know that Antarctic ice can sing? It sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Of course, I'm not talking about all of the ice on the continent. I'm talking about that have been called the singing ice that caught the attention of scientists in 2014. Researchers recorded strange sounds coming from the Rosa Glacier. Scientists have been recording the sounds of the glacier for 2 years with powerful sensors and have set up line-driven stages. As they pass through the glacier, they create a vibration that causes the glacier to emit a low-frequency sound. In fact, it's hardly a singing sound. The purity of the sound is about 5 Hz. So in order to hear anything, you have to speed it up a lot, and even though you can't, it's impossible to listen to it. It has negative effects on the human nervous system and other living things. The oldest ice in Antarctica can boast not only vocal but also their incredible age. It was in Antarctica that the oldest ice on Earth was found. Oldest ice on Earth in 2018 in the near Antarctica's Vostok station. Scientists managed to collect samples of the oldest Waldar, whose age may be more than 1 and 3 million years old. In general, the fact that in the east of the ancient genus has been known since 1998, then samples of the age of 420 years old were able to raise from a depth more than 3 kilometers. But as it turns out, if you dig a little deeper, literally, you could find even older ice. It would seem that the steepness of the find is all about the age itself, but that's not true at all. The oldest ice can shed a lot of light about the climatic processes that were going on millions of years ago. It might reveal interesting prehistoric details and maybe even change the whole history. Unusual creatures at great depths of Antarctica. There are many interesting things, and the oldest ice is not. For example, last year at a depth of about 1 kilometer deep, scientists came across unusual creatures that no one had ever. They're creatures that resemble sponges. Through a camera, scientists saw that they were clinging to boulders at a gigantic depths. The discovery stunned the researchers. The first thing that struck them was the discovery of a new problem that no one knew about, that in itself a big discovery in itself. Secondly, scientists had previously had thought that at this depth, beneath floating glaciers in total darkness, that only small scavengers as well as the fish worms of the krill, jellyfish, and these creatures came as a surprise. According to scientists, new found from the Arctic sponges feed by a special kind of bacterial synthesis around here. It once again confirms just how resilient the inhabitants of the icy continent. Stardust and some Antarctic findings and discoveries allow us to learn more about life on Earth. Others await answers even to questions related to space. The discovery discovered in 2019 is a great example of that. Then an international team of scientists in studying freshly fallen snow in Antarctica discovered a warped artifact, and IP 149 was able to determine that the object was a rare iron isotope that came to our planet along with interstellar dust. Scientists also found in Antarctic snow a rare iron-60 isotope. The presence of this type of iron had only been recorded in deep-sea sediments and bacterial fossils. Scientists believe that the iron-60 isotope had come to the Earth as a result of supernova explosion stars from 3 to 1 million years ago. A new study documented the first time in history when alien iron-60 was found in freshly fallen Antarctic snow. Is that the stardust found found stardust is a very rare type of stardust, so the discovery could provide important data about stellar explosions in neighboring galaxies, and the discovery also confirms the theory that our galaxy and the world's stellar structure could have been formed by exploding stars.